My guest today can share some of the same stories I have, even some of the mishaps on game day. And boy, there have been many of them in the long time I've been doing this. And I'm gonna bring him in with a very familiar theme. The Frost Father is next. Stand by. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Burn! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
You hear that? I was playing this even before I came on here today, and I figured I'd use this theme to bring in my guest. He is located north of the border, and he just does the same thing I do. In fact, in a way, we share the same nickname. I'm the Snowman, and this is the Frost Father, Aaron Sanders. How are you, man?
I'm doing good, and I feel like everybody's in WrestleMania mode. The Goldberg theme is out. And funny enough, I was just thinking of Goldberg's theme a couple hours before it came on the air. So it's like we got some ESP going on today.
We were talking before we came on here, and I could share so many stories of mishaps, especially when I was sitting here in the office waiting, and I knew I had the interview with you. I knew it. I had it scheduled. I looked at it, and I said, I don't want to miss him again. Yeah, my wife just happened to find this very comfortable chair over the summer, and I can't tell you how many times I've leaned back in this thing, and the next thing I know, I'm snoring so loud, I hear myself snoring.
I may have to get one of those chairs come summertime. Because I know I'm going to be asking for a break, but not too long of a break.
Right. I'm the same way. I am the same way. How's it been going with you, man? Because I know you've been busy. I love your work. I've been keeping up with you with all the work that you're doing up in Windsor and all that. How has that been going?
Well, first off, thank you for that, and God bless you. It's been busy, to say the least. All of us experienced the polar vortex. Matter of fact, the missus and we went up to Niagara Falls last week, and believe it or not, it was about 3 or 4 degrees warmer than over here in Windsor.
I get it.
But
Yeah.
But let me tell you, once you hit the falls itself, you're going to be asking to go back to the car and just head back home.
And just
3
head back.
inches. Yeah, 3 inches deep of ice. The guardrails had 3 inches of ice, so we knew right then and there, yeah, this isn't the polar vortex we had about 10 or 15 years ago. This is completely different. And I'm a summer baby. What am I doing at the falls in the winter instead of the summer?
I know, man. I was born in July. I was born July 21st. I'm a summer baby. What the hell am I doing experiencing this polar vortex, man?
Right. It's bad enough we're hearing the S word, the I word, and the F word when it comes around this time of year. And trust me, if I don't hear any of those words again the rest of the way, I'm not going to be complaining. I don't make snowmen. I don't make snowmen anymore. I just go out in the snow and just take care of my business.
Right. I mean, once upon a time, growing up, I couldn't wait to make a snowman. Now, carrying the nickname, like, man, I don't want to do this. I'm going to my car and I'm getting warm. The heck with that.
Mm-hmm. One of my co-workers ragged on me a couple of days ago, asking, "It's like, you're the Frostfall. You should be used to the snow." No, I'd rather pack my parka up for the year, get the shorts out, start playing basketball outside. But no, it's too cold for that.
Yep.
For now.
I want to sit outside, sit on the porch swing that my wife got us, and just relax. Because at the tail end of last summer, that's what we were doing. She'd come home from work, she'd see me come in, talk to my daughter, and then she'd come outside and join me. I want that weather now. I mean, I love doing my broadcasting, but every so often I want to take a break and just sit out on the swing and enjoy life now. That's what I'm trying to do.
I'm going to make a bold prediction. By the middle of March, I feel like most of the states, the average temperature is going to be like 60 or 70. Here in
Yep.
Windsor, I have a feeling we're going to have a couple of 70-degree days. There was one year on Family Day in the middle of February where it was 81 degrees, if you could believe that.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And people are wondering, what do we do now? Well, you soak up the sun. That's what you do. Come on. We're in the border city, snowman. Like Windsor and Detroit, we're pretty much the same
Right.
thing. We
Yep.
go by Fahrenheit, even though people still prefer Celsius. But listen, we got
Hmm.
Fahrenheit friends and Celsius chums, but I've been a Fahrenheit baby for since I was born.
Yes. Same here. There was one year living in Chicago. We were on spring break, and it got up to 80. It got up to 81 degrees every day.
Ooh.
I couldn't believe it. The entire week, it got up into the 80s. Man, I didn't even see my house. I was playing either basketball or playing baseball, just running around like a madman, enjoying 81 degrees. My bike was all over the place. That right, that kind of spring break is one I treasure, man.
Bring out the slip and slide, get the pool ready. We're all set to go.
Yep, yep. How do you keep a hold and a handle on your schedule? As I said, I've watched your work. I enjoy your work very dearly, and I consider you a very dear friend of mine. How do you keep up with your schedule? Because I know how crazy it gets,
Mm.
especially with the success or sometimes failure of of the Windsor Express. How do you keep up with it?
Thank goodness for technology, first and foremost. You have your calendar and that plans it out. I have alarm clocks for certain days, so I know when to get up, when to go from one place to another. And I don't know, I often keep a mental note of a lot of things. Like, for example, if I know I'm going to end up doing 5 games in a weekend because I did that last weekend with two university doubleheaders and an express game on Sunday to boot, I would usually plan all this stuff ahead. Like most of the information, I would get started on the depth chart at least a week and a half before it happens so I don't get caught up in, well, we're less than 48 hours away from game day. So what do I do there?
Right.
It just take it, the planning could be tedious, but it's worth it. I know the stats they get updated, new players get added, players leave the team or the league. They either get waived or go to another team. It's like those things you can't control. You just add them when need be. But once I get the news, I just put it on my depth chart, put it on my things to do, and
Hmm.
away I go. And sometimes, again, the misses helps out, but I've been pretty much well ahead of things this year, believe it or not, because the last couple of years, you never know what happens. But I feel like doing this for 10 years, like you still learn something new every day, but you always got to remember to prepare for anything and prepare well in advance because I feel like it gives you more confidence when you go on the air and it will show people that not only you're presenting a service to let people know what's going on the floor, on the ice, or whatnot. It's just good for you. It's good for your mental health that you don't have to worry about, let's say, a certain deadline. I mean, we're not in high school anymore. We don't have all these projects due, but you feel
Hmm.
like you're going to be in the zone. You have that high schooler mentality where you got to be on the ball 24/7.
Absolutely. And I doing this 30 years myself, you learn as you just mentioned, you learn something new every day. And since my fight with cancer, I've been restricted to calling games here in studio, but still keep a hold of that schedule. I put it in the calendar so the missus and I know when I'm working games, when I'm not working games, so we can plan our time away with that. And that's been working very well, especially lately since I've been able to keep up with the teams that I follow. I follow South Carolina for women's basketball, UConn for men's basketball. Plan a schedule according to that. I'm getting my baseball schedule in order. It helps when you're an announcer and you work as much as we do. It helps very much to be well ahead of the game instead of crunching right up to game time.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people, and they teach you this, you have to adhere and you have to take in the pressure. It's a matter of how you deal with it. And I feel like I feel like James Bond has a thing or two about responding to pressure. Funny enough, last night I was watching GoldenEye with a couple of my friends, and
Mhm.
can you imagine a situation where this guy has not been under pressure? If he was, you barely see it from him. It's like, no, we got to deal with the pressure, and we have to understand, this is our job. This is what we signed up for. It's not going to be easy. Sure, it will be down the stretch, but when you get into it, whether if it's a new sport or a new season or a new league, you have to prepare yourself well before and do your homework.
With
Again,
the
it's
ad
like school, prepare and do your
Yep,
homework.
yep, you gotta be prepared. With the advent of social media, does it help you get the word out to people about where they can watch you, when they can tune you in? Has that lent a hand to what you do?
Definitely with Facebook or Twitter or XOs, whatever you call it now, it's helped a whole lot. And I know when it comes to Facebook, you get more followers, you get more eyes either at your content or the live stream or anywhere else. So with social media, that has helped more. And I'm a late bloomer when it comes to the social media game. I didn't even join Facebook or anything of the sort until like 12th grade. We're going back about almost 12 years since I've started going on social media because the only use I had for the internet back then was Yahoo, Google, um, AOL,
Yep.
YouTube, and whatnot. Like I stayed away from Facebook for a long time. It's because I didn't think it would help me or stay focused at all. But once I saw my friends there and another friend of mine, she suggested, it's like, why don't you give it a try? Oh, I gave it a try. The first day I ended up with like hundreds of friends and they all knew me, which is crazy. But
Mhm.
now when you get later on in your life, because see, I'm almost 30, you have like all these friends and you have all these followers, and those followers could turn into contacts. It's like what you see on LinkedIn, you could also see on Facebook and Twitter and
Mhm.
everything. And I
Mhm.
know there's a lot of people, they have a hard time mixing what they do in their personal life and their professional life. And then there's others that are able to separate that. So what you would see on my LinkedIn isn't necessarily what you're going to see on my Facebook. And I try to make that important to a lot of people because, again, when it comes to Facebook and Twitter followers, you don't know if they're going to be good connections to a future team, an organization, or a league. So I stayed and I try to be careful with social media as much as I can, especially even before I even thought about it. So 12 years, 12 years, Snowman, since I've
Mhm.
joined Facebook, and then it just went into an avalanche of social
Yes.
media since then.
Yes. It became an avalanche for me very quickly because, like you, it's like I see a couple people that I recognize, and I said, "All right, I can deal with this." The next thing I knew, it's a snowball running down the hill and picking up speed with so many people that recognize me and sending me friend requests like, "What do you do?" I said, "Well, pay attention. I'll put the link out there so people can listen and people can tune in."
Mhm.
Boy, has that been a boon of success for me because so many people now tune into what I do, and that audience is still growing. It's crazy. That audience is still going, and I'm like, people want to hear a 30-year guy do this. All right, skip it. I'll use it. I'll use it to my advantage. The heck with it.
You'll be surprised. It's a new generation of the word of mouth. That word of mouth turns into like the post of mouth and reels,
Mhm.
and this is where we're at right now. And who said the word of mouth was dead? By the way, I like to know who
Yes,
said that.
I'd like to know that also. No one, word of mouth is never dead.
Mm.
Word of mouth is never dead. I live here in Southern Indiana, and people are finding out about me, and they're tuning in, and it led to a contact with a school up in Indianapolis. My goal is to get rolling and get back live in the booth this coming fall for football and everything, and working towards that after coming off of surgery 3 years ago. My kidney failure, which has gotten better because I've been drinking a ton of water. Some foods I had to lay off of, especially when it comes to game day. And we are talking about game day before we came on. I'll share this story. I went to Northern Iowa. I had to go do a game there, so I drove from Gary, Indiana, to Cedar Falls. And when I saw the Unidome, I said, "Okay, I'm here. I can race in. I can get a little rest, and then I'm ready for game night." Yeah, didn't realize how long of a drive I took. I got let into the McLeod Center, and I'm off. I'm off the floor. There's a computer center there for the students and everything. And the next thing I knew, I zonked out,
Hmm.
shirt, tie, and all. I zonked out. Thank the Lord I already done my game notes, got my rosters, got prepared, and was just waiting for the SID there to bring out his game notes. I'm sleeping good until I hear a quote, I need to find the voice of Chicago State. I need to talk to him. I sat straight up. That's when I met my friend Gary Rima. And as soon as I met him, we have been, that was 2008. We have been close friends since then, 16 years now. It's so crazy whom you run into, be it home, road, or whatever. It's so crazy who you run into, who becomes a contact, and who becomes a friend for you while you're in doing this industry, man.
It's all kismet when you get into this business, and there are a lot of people are saying it's like, I like to meet this, I want to do that, but I feel like if you keep your head down and keep on working hard, then the results will come. It's like it could be one game or one event, you just meet somebody and you realize they have two people that could pretty much pass the word out, or maybe
Mhm.
four or even six. It feel like connections are easier to get than back in the day, but I wish I was older so I realized how much of the trend sports broadcasting was in the 90s, because I know we have demo reels nowadays, but people had to mail those certain connections physical tape,
Physical
or
tapes,
even written things like what do they call in a university when you had a thesis
thesis.
or
Mhm.
something like that. I mean, that was good. And people keep on using the term tape trading these days. It's like, well, I wish we could bring that back. But again,
Yep.
to your point, I feel like you gain more connections if you're able to go to certain events in person. We're grateful that we have the connections via internet, but it's just meeting them in person. It means much more. You get a feel of how they're able to operate on a game day basis and any other day too, because it's another day in the office for them. But
Mhm.
for us, it's a dream for us to meet them, because we never thought we would make it this far, but we kept believing in ourselves and we kept working. And I was always taught, hard work pays off. And hopefully that's a testament to not only your career, but to mine and any other broadcaster out in the business. No matter how small the town is or how big the community is, you just got to work.
You have to. You absolutely have to. That's the Frost Father, Aaron Sanders, joining me here as we talk all things game day and all things sportscasting and the fun that we're having. I love you very much. I love your work, man. I look forward to seeing your next game and hearing your next game and every game thereafter. Man, I'll say it again. I love you very much. Thanks for coming on, brother. I appreciate it.
Much love, Snowman, and it's great to be back. And keep on keeping at it. It's the beginning of the year. We're going to end up guns a blazing once this year is over. We're gonna do big
Absolutely.
things.
Absolutely. I already got a goal next February to be in Santa Clara for the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's my goal, is to take Snowman Sportsnet and Snowman Multimedia to the Super Bowl in Santa Clara. And my missus just looked me in the eye with a fierceness and said, "Make it happen." She said, "I
Amen.
will help you get us to Santa Clara." That's what every man needs to hear, is his better half saying, "Make it happen, and I'll help you make it happen."
Amen. And it also helps that she's in the sports too. My missus
Yep.
is the same way.
Yes.
And quickly before I go to, because I know we're tight on time. Again, shout outs to Emily Coco, my rock. I met her while working for the Windsor Express, and she was the game day operator for that. So she put in time and a half to put all that together. She left the team a few years ago, and I thought, wow, I'm out of luck. I could have had this opportunity just to go for my shot. And now, lo and behold, thanks to a third party, we were able to reunite as board members of our city's Sports Hall of Fame committee. And I was able to take a chance. And here we are a year and a half later. And the fact that she loves sports too, because that's all we talked about on our first date. She
Yep.
talked about how bad the infield and the outfield for the Blue Jays were. I knew right then and there, it's over. It's over.
Beautiful.
It's like, check, please. Like, I found
Beautiful.
my rock.
That's same with me. That's how I found Jody. I called Jody. I put the phone in my ear while I was doing a football game. I heard her giggle, and I was a goner. I was a goner. It helps that she also loves sports. It also helps that we playfully argue all the time about who's has the best team in the house. She has the Colts. I have the 49ers. But we also dig back into our history also with what we've watched. Thanks a lot, my friend. I appreciate you. I love you very much. I'm looking forward to more of your work, man.
Much love, Snowman. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you for tuning into The Brian Snow Show, where sports is the base, life and fun are the results.